Hello, and welcome back to today's episode of Bad Luck and Magic. Today, we are going to get into the July vibe check. It is July, y'all. We are in the seventh month of the year. Seven is all about reassessing, looking at the progress we've made over the last several months, and check in. It's a little check-in moment with ourselves and also a moment to have fun. Like, I don't know about you, but I am so focused on just letting myself play, letting myself enjoy the moment. So, before we dive into today's episode, let's chat real quick about like the breakdown of what we're going to chat through so you kind of have an idea of what's going on. And if you are looking at this, or honestly, okay, if you're on YouTube or if you're listening to the podcast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, you might notice that my sound quality, hopefully, is a little better. So that's on that. I got a little mic. I got a little mic now because we are official. So, July. So, okay, we are going to chat through what's the vibe of the month. These are going to be the top 3 themes that we're going to experience. Then we're going to get into the flow, which is breaking down the month in 3 parts so that we can see what we're working with, where we can expect to receive opportunities, and where we can be one step ahead of the cosmos so we don't crash out completely. And then we will get into our mystery message, which is really just a cute way of saying we're going to pick one tarot card out of 3 tarot cards, and you're going to get intuitive guidance for your month ahead. And then we will have your mini scope. So, going through all of the zodiac signs, you can listen for your rising or your sun sign or both and see where all of these changes are going to be taking place in your life. Is it going to be happening at home? Is it going to be happening in your house of finances or your house related to career? Like, let's dive into that so you know where all of the shit's going down. And then we will wrap it up with how I'm here to serve. This is talking through the special offers I've got going on this month, as well as different events and workshops where we can connect on a deeper level and we can expand and grow and inspire together. So let's get into it, honey. Um, as we say, what's the vibe? What's the vibe for July? The top 3 themes, okay? So, number 1, we can expect some sudden shifts in how we communicate, connect with other people, and how we honestly process information and how we learn. This is because Uranus is going to be moving out of Taurus, where it's been for the last 8 years, and it's going to move into the sign of Gemini. So it's going to be there again for the next 7 to 8 years. Uranus basically symbolizes sudden change, insights, innovation, rebellion, and shaking up foundations in some way. And so when it moves through the sign of Gemini, Gemini is a mutable air sign, so it thrives on change. And it it loves to be curious and think about things in new ways. So Uranus and Gemini is kind of a vibe. Um, we can expect radical shifts in the ways that we communicate, how we socialize with others, and how we're thinking on an individual level, but also collectively. Okay, so I will break down where this is going to be happening like in your chart. So where are you specifically going to be experiencing these mental breakthroughs and potential info overload? Because Gemini It is ruled by Mercury. It has all of this information that it's trying to process and make sense of. And it loves gathering new information. It loves research. But when we have Uranus there, it's like, okay, what do we do with all of this information? Okay, number 2, we got illumination around the dreams that we're trying to build. And that is because we are going to have a full moon in Capricorn, and that's going to highlight for us where we are dissolving old karma that really has no business coming into our next chapter. And what I mean by that, old karma, I'm just saying old relationship dynamics, old ways of being, old structures, routines, mental restrictions, things that are holding us back from stepping into that next level. So, obviously, most of us have some kind of dream or goal or vision that we're going towards. And honestly, that vision has probably shifted some since late 2024, which is when we had the new moon in Capricorn. So every new moon in a specific zodiac sign is tied to the full moon in that same zodiac sign 6 months later. So, what was going on for you late December? Like, what were you thinking about? What were you starting? What intentions were you setting at that point in time? So, once we have this full moon in Capricorn around the middle of July, we're going to be reconnecting to our why and our purpose and reassessing our goals and figuring out, okay, like, I've gotten this far. Did I reach my goals? How far do I still have left to go? Do I still even want to go fully towards this goal, or do I need to shift gears? This is a point in time where we are asking ourselves, what new timeline or what timeline are we leaving behind, and which timeline are we intentionally shifting into? And if that seems a little meta, like what does that even mean? It just means that sometimes we can be on the same path. We're on our path, and that's sometimes where we can get stuck in certain thought processes, routines, structures, commitments, all of that. We're heading down this path. That is one timeline. We can shift our timelines or our path when we go about things a different way, when we shift our perspective, when we shift our boundaries, when we shift the ways that we're showing up in our day to day to reach those particular goals. And of course, in the mini scope towards the end of today's episode, we'll cover the Capricorn ruled area of your chart so that you can see where you will be experiencing a peak moment, a chance to release what's dying, and carry forward what's actually flourishing and ready to grow into its next stage and phase. The third thing for the vibe of July, we have rewiring our self expression. And I love this so much. Self expression is one of my values, one of my top 3 values, because, well, one, it's been really difficult for me to embody my own unique self expression. And that's something that I'm always so inspired by others, that the people that can really be authentic and just be like, this is me, take it or leave it. And this is what I want to create. This is how I want to express my soul. This is how I want to literally make something out of the experiences I've had and the emotions that I'm working through. Like, I just think that is such a beautiful thing. So, basically, this month we are going to get a chance to rewire, our sense of self, our confidence, and how we express ourselves. And that is because, well, one, we're going to have Leo season. Leo is the star, babe. Like, they trying to shine. They are trying to shine. And we will also have Mercury going retrograde through Leo as well. So Mercury retrogrades get a bad rap. It's not that big of a deal. It's literally just about every 3 months or so, we have Mercury, the sign that relates to our thinking, our communication, ideas, technology, travel. Like it appears to go backwards, and really, it's not to punish us, but it's more so like, can we pause? Can we slow down? And really, it's a point in time where our mind can catch up with any recent changes that we've experienced. So Mercury will get about halfway through the sign of Leo, and once it stations retrograde, we're going to be retracing our steps through this area of our lives. So we might reflect, review, and revise our relationship to our confidence, our self expression, and how we might crave external validation in order to prove our worth. Like that's basically the task. It's basically to look and see, okay, how am I showing up in a way that's kind of coming more so from ego than it is from our heart? And, you know, figuring out like, okay, if I'm expressing myself and secretly or underneath it all, I'm hoping that I get some kind of validation and praise and recognition for this, like, then I don't get it, I'm going to feel bad about myself. Like that's just how it is. So it's rewiring how we're showing up and why we're showing up. So, of course, in the mini scope, I will help you understand where you might be revisiting these themes of confidence and pride and expression based on where Leo is in your chart. Okay, let's move on to the flow. So, the flow is a breakdown of the month in 3 different parts so we can stay one step ahead of the shifts instead of crashing out. So, the beginning of the month. July opens the door to radical alignment in how we love, relate to other people, and express ourselves. So we are reprogramming what we love, how we connect to other people, and what we believe is actually possible, not from a delusional place, but really from a more clear sense of self worth. And these changes aren't just surface level, like they are straight from the foundation. They are liberating and they are long overdue. And let's get into why this is the vibe of the beginning of the month. So, Venus, the sign of love, beauty, art, what we find pleasurable, it's also about relationships and connection, also values, self worth, and money as well, abundance. So Venus is going to be coming into contact with Uranus that is still in Taurus. So Uranus will be moving into Gemini, but right now it is hanging out at the final degree, the final point that it could be in the sign of Taurus. This is also known as the anaretic degree, the 29th degree. It is always, it's like major change. This is an important part of any zodiac sign. The final degree of any zodiac sign, if a planet is there and it's about to move into a new sign, it's like, girl, we better wrap up the lessons. Like, I'm going to give you one last hit of major insight before I move into the next sign. Like, we're wrapping up this story. Not to just mention that Uranus will retrograde back into Taurus at some point, I think later this year, but we don't have to worry about that right now. So we'll be cleaning up some stuff from this storyline, but basically we're closing out this Uranus in Taurus storyline. Let's talk about this for a second. So Taurus is an earth sign. It is a fixed earth sign at that. So it is very determined. It's very slow and steady. It makes very intentional progress. It is not in a rush. It is very loyal. Once it's made up its mind, it's like, this is the way I'm going in. It is very hard to change the foundations and the decisions that are made by a fixed sign, much less Taurus. So, yeah, because Taurus loves to be grounded, it loves stability, it wants something firm, something sustainable. So, with Uranus going through Taurus, it's like, okay, we're shaking up all these foundations. Everything that you thought was secure and stable and sustainable. No, no, it's not. It's not. And so we've gone through this journey the last 8 years. So it might be worth thinking about, okay, like whatever, 2020 or 2018, what kind of was going on for you then and how things have shifted for you. But anyway, let's get back to it. So Venus, when it's coming together with Uranus and Taurus, it's like we are shaking up the foundation of any outdated values, any anything that we have clung onto in terms of finances, beauty, connections, all of that. Anything that no longer serves us, it is getting shaken loose because of Uranus. Because this is helping us embrace a more authentic relationship to those themes of pleasure, money, worth, beauty, connections. Okay? Like this is the process of evolution. This is our personal evolution. So we are embracing what's more authentic to us when it comes to those Venusian themes. And that can be destabilizing because we've already built up these connections, these ways of being, these ways of receiving. And Uranus is like, we're burning that shit down and we're doing something different for growth, for the plot. Okay. And it doesn't have to be completely destabilizing. Like if you're already on your healing journey, you likely already feel all of this stuff happening anyway. So it can be electric. It can feel very liberating too, especially if you've been feeling stuck and stagnant in a certain way of being. Like this really shakes things up in a way that can free us and move towards what actually feels good in our body and our soul, especially feeling good in our body, because that's very Taurus energy. There may be some bold moves. You know what I mean? There may be some bold moves happening related to money, worth, connections, art, beauty. Okay. This is the beginning of the month, so this is good. And I just want to mention too, I feel like these next, basically the beginning of the month, these are all happening on July 4th. It's giving fireworks. It's giving fireworks. Okay, so shortly after Venus comes together with Uranus, Venus is going to move into Gemini. Okay, so that means while Venus was in Taurus, we were feeling more grounded. We wanted a more slow, steady, more sensual relationship to love, money, pleasure, all of those things. But now, Venus moving into Gemini, those themes have a different flavor to it. So, what's the flavor? Okay, it's going to be more curious, flirty, intellectual. It's like the social butterfly, just kind of like bopping around to different people, different groups. It wants to experiment. It wants new information. It wants mental stimulation. Um, so we're going to be talking, thinking, and sharing more. We're also going to be questioning, does this relationship or creative project really reflect who I am now? Especially since Venus just had that bolt of electricity and insight from Uranus and Taurus. Then, on the same day, Neptune, which is like the higher octave of Venus, if you will. Neptune is all about our ideals, our dreams, our hopes and wishes. It can be also about like disillusionment and, yeah, kind of being a little delusional, but it's very spiritual as well. But Neptune recently moved into Aries. So it's going to be going retrograde. So let me think about this for a second. So Neptune spends about 14 years in a sign. So we've had Neptune and Pisces for such a long time. Pisces and Neptune are basically like the same thing. Pisces is ruled by Neptune. So Neptune moving into Aries is a different vibe. It's like spiritual warrior energy. So with Neptune being in Aries, Aries is the first sign. It is the sign of I am. It kind of has had us maybe feeling a little bit dreamy, more intuitive, more spiritual, especially in relationship to our identity. Maybe we're realizing how we are dissolving our ego and we're truly trying to figure out what is us at the core. What is us? But it's probably felt a little confusing. So, yeah, I feel like with this, Neptune tries to get us to soften our grip and really take action, which is very Aries, take action in a more intuitive way versus just having everything, like going after something and you before you even know what you're going after it for, because Aries can be a little impulsive. But Neptune going retrograde, it invites us to turn inward, and the question is, this dream that I have, let me make sure that it's really coming directly from my heart and soul, and make sure that it is not a dream that is injected with other people's opinions and expectations of me. And that can be hard. That can be hard. But we can do it. We can do it. Neptune is going to be going retrograde until like the middle of December. So we have some time. We have some time. I think when Neptune is retrograde, it will be even more important for us to make sure that we're not numbing ourselves. Neptune can relate to addictions and escapism, like trying to compartmentalize or just not be in this reality, because this reality can be very difficult. So just be aware of that. Be aware of that. And just make sure that you are purely going after your dreams and your vision and no one else's. Okay. Then, still the beginning of the month, we have Uranus now moving into Gemini. It is, Venus and Gemini, or Venus and Uranus came together. Venus went into Gemini. Now Uranus is following her into Gemini, and Uranus will be in Gemini for like 8 years, like I mentioned. So it's going to be shaking up not only our individual mind, but our collective mind as well. So we can expect these breakthroughs in tech, communication, and how we connect with other people. So for us on an individual level, it's kind of like a wake-up call to think differently, speak more truthfully, and innovate how we're trying to move forward. I mean, as we all know, especially with AI, life is beginning to speed up. Information is being shared in a in the quickest way that we've ever experienced ever. Literally ever. So it's like how can we ground into that? How can we move along with the changes and not be stuck? Because I think if we're hoping to stay the same, this is going to be a challenge. This is going to be a challenge. We are meant to move with the flow of change. So, and then the last thing I'll say about the beginning of the month, we are going to close out the beginning of the month with a little glow up, okay? Venus in Gemini is going to trine Pluto in Aquarius, and this is easy flowing energy, a trine, because they are both in the same element. So we have air sign to air sign, right? So this is deep, magnetic, and empowering because Pluto is involved. So at this point in time, we might be attracting connections, relationships, or creative ideas that feel both soulful and highly transformative because that's Pluto, especially if we are willing to shift how we are speaking our truth, which is Venus and Gemini. So that's just the beginning of the month, honey. Damn. Now, let's get to the middle of the month, okay? This is going to bring us more clarity and a sense of recalibration. So, this is when we are starting to balance our long term vision with our present moment passion. So, the cosmos is helping us slow down, get clear, realign with our inner fire, and make sure that the goals that we're chasing actually light us up. So, this is the recalibration that needs to happen before we actually take the leap. And as I mentioned kind of in the beginning, part of July, like, yeah, we're starting to wonder, is this dream fully mine? Am I holding back on certain areas of this dream and vision because I'm scared it's going to hurt someone else, or I'm worried what people will say or think, or I don't want to disappoint X, Y, and Z. So by the middle of the month, we're recalibrating all of that. And that is because we will have the full moon in Capricorn. And so the sun will be in Cancer. It wants security, safety, care, nourishing, is shining a light on the moon that is in Capricorn. Capricorn wants structure, commitment, long term vision, right? So we're going to be illuminated. It will come up in our emotions. It always does, especially on full moons. We're going to be, and those emotions are there to notify us about something, right? So it's shining a light on our long term goals, our responsibilities, the structures we've built or that we haven't built yet. And the moon is saying, look how far you've come. Now, what are you willing to commit to now? And it's part celebration of our growth and success and even contemplating what success means for us. And it can be a sobering check-in too about have where we still have progress to make. And that's fine. That's life. So we're going to be holding ourselves accountable, and we're going to check in and see, where am I still outsourcing my power? Are there areas of my life where I feel like I'm the victim, but the reality is you're not the victim, you know? So being able to see, where am I truly handing my power over to something or someone else. Then Saturn soon after will go retrograde in Aries. So it's interesting because Capricorn is ruled by the sign or by the planet of Saturn, Big Daddy Saturn. Okay, Saturn is all about limitations, structures, boundaries, rules, karma. So it's interesting that we get illuminated to something related to those themes of commitment and structure and long-term goals and vision. And then that particular planet goes retrograde again. All these retrogrades are happening divine timing, right? It is inviting us to revisit the foundation of our willpower and our drive. Saturn is like Saturn, oh Lord. Saturn can be hard on us. It can feel really hard on us if we are not willing to take responsibility for ourselves and the direction that we're moving in. So, Saturn is our coach, and he's saying, pause. Like, let's go back and refine the intention behind your ambition. So, this time it's not about pushing, and it's more so about focusing. Like, what do you really want to commit to? What structures, habits, and boundaries do you need to put in place in order to support that vision? Okay. And then we have Mercury going retrograde in Leo that I mentioned at the beginning of this podcast episode. Now, it's going to happen in Leo. This is a fire sign, full of bold expression and creative drive. So we might be feeling lit up with new ideas and wanting to charge ahead on our dreams. But again, these retrogrades, they are saying clarity comes from the review. We have to slow down. Okay, it's great. We have all of this new information, these new insights, these new ideas, these new projects. Let's take it behind the scenes. Let's work on it behind the scenes so that once Mercury goes direct, like mid-August, we can go forward. Okay? So at this point, we're going to be refining our message, our vision, and our inner fire. So again, we can be aligned and ready to fucking go when Mercury goes direct in August. Then we have, this is still middle of the month. Last thing I want to mention here is the sun entering Leo. So this is Leo season. Happy birthday to the Leos. So this is going to bring a little boost when it comes to our confidence, our creativity, and our self-expression. We might be tapping more into our inner child at this point in time, like summer vibes. So because Mercury is going retrograde at this point in time and the sun is entering Leo, it's kind of like we're thinking and reviewing around the areas where we are maybe unintentionally seeking external validation. And then Leo, the sun in Leo is saying, like, it's safe to shine anyway. Like, let's continue to work through, where you're hoping to get external validation, but it's still okay to shine and to radiate your own unique light and presence. Now, the end of the month, we kind of close it out with an invitation of coming home to our heart and our soul and to start leading from that place. It's kind of like a little reset for our soul because we're going to be healing old wounds around identity and visibility. We're going to be softening into emotional honesty, and we're going to be receiving insights around expressing our voice, our art, and our purpose in a more intentional way. And the thing here is, we don't have to be perfect to be powerful. We just have to show up and be real. So towards the end of the month, we're going to have the new moon in Leo, which initiates a fresh cycle around our self-expression, our courage, and creative visibility. So this is when we're planting seeds of intentions for the life that we're ready to embody, not the ones that we think other people are just going to approve of. Again, it's coming back to, what do you actually want? What do you actually want? Not these other people, not what is the um parsed down version of your dream so that it can be digestible for other people. That's not how dreams work. That's not how dreams work, or how our purpose and passion works. This is all about, what is my inner spark saying? What lights me up? What is a full body yes to me? And I mean, it's beautiful because we're going to have all of these retrogrades that are allowing us to go behind the scenes, turn inward, and be like, okay, what's my game plan? Let me get my game plan together. Let me figure out what my dream is. And then once these freaking planets go direct, there ain't no stopping us, okay? So then, speaking of retrogrades, we'll have Chiron going retrograde in Aries. So Chiron is called the wounded healer. It is like where we have some core deep wounds, and the purpose of them is to face them, give them love and care, let them be seen so that they can be healed. And through our own process of healing and compassion for those wounds, we help other people heal as well. Okay, so since Chiron is in Aries, the wounds are related to identity, independence, and self-trust. Okay? So this is really here, like Chiron's kind of towards the end of Aries. So this isn't new information. We've been working with this energy. So this is a point where we can review and reflect on how far we've come and what's ready to be soothed and have deeper compassion. And also just a reminder that, of course, healing isn't linear, yada, yada, yada. Everybody says that. But this retrograde is reminding us that bravery and courage can sometimes look like being tender and being upset, being afraid, and allowing ourselves to lean into that. Because the more that we acknowledge, okay, like I have a goal that is requiring me to be independent and um, have self trust, but truthfully, I don't feel that right now. And I feel a little scared. It's okay. Like, please, like, let's talk about that. Let's feel that, because if we're able to say, I feel a little scared, you know what's going to happen? You're going to show up for that inner child version of you that needed that compassion and that compassion and care when they were younger, when they were feeling scared, right? And it's like, if we're able to look at it and witness it in ourselves, it will be easier for us to express that to the people that we love in our lives so that we can gain support and more care, you know? So just know that that might be coming up towards the end of the month, but honestly, it's kind of beautiful. It's like, this is telling me there's something moving in our lives that is requiring us to be more independent and to grow and to expand and to move into our next level. So, at this point in time, yeah, it's kind of like working with the brave side of us, but also the tender side. So then we'll have Venus that's been moving through Gemini, being flirty and let's see, curious, right? It's going to be moving into Cancer, so it's softening the edges, is calling us inward. Love becomes a sanctuary. It becomes a place of nourishment and protection, and we're going to be craving more safety, comfort, and emotional honesty at this time. We may notice that we're more nurturing to our loved ones, our pets, or maybe we're softening and letting other people nurture and care for us as well. And then towards the end of the month, we're going to have a Mercury cazimi, which really just means that Mercury will be conjunct or coming against the sun that will be happening in Leo. So remember, Mercury will still be retrograde at this point, but Kazimis are a powerful moment. It's a flash of clarity. Mercury is literally, as they say, in the heart of the sun. So it's like a sense of being renewed and revitalized. So this is where we're going to get a hit of truth, right in the middle of Mercury's like backward dance here. So this could be a message from your inner child, your higher self, or even just your like creative genius coming through loud and clear. And it's like, okay, I know what this Mercury retrograde is about, and I know what work I still have left to do, and I know that I'm heading in the right direction. So we love that. We love that. Okay, so that was the flow. That was the flow of the month. I hope that was helpful for you. I just think it's great to understand what energy is going to be happening in these buckets of time within the month, because then you can know what's ahead, like where these opportunities going to be, what might I be experiencing at these points in time, um as a way to, I don't want to say brace yourself because it's not bad or scary, but it's like maybe to ground yourself in knowing that things are shifting and things are happening for us. And honestly, I love planning my month around the like the astrology. So, anyway, I hope that's helpful for you. Okay, let's move on to the mystery message, shall we? So, I want you to just imagine three tarot cards out in front of you, and I want you to choose card 1, 2, or 3, whichever one that is calling to you. And we're going to get into our message. Okay. If you chose card 1, and let me just go ahead and say, all of these cards are amazing. You couldn't go wrong. Honestly, you couldn't go wrong. Um, and something else I want to say is you can choose obviously 1, 2, or 3, but another way we can look at this too is card number 1 could be kind of what's going on for us the beginning of the month, card 2 could be the middle of the month, and card 3 could be the end of the month. So let's see what we got. Okay. First cards first. We got King of Cups. This is giving emotionally mature, grounded, supportive. This is divine masculine. So this month, you are outwardly expressing your emotional growth and maturity. You have a presence that really shows that you have control over your emotions. It's like you're tuned into your intuition and your emotions, but you're also grounded. Um, so I already mentioned that divine masculine energy. So maybe you are healing that side of yourself, and or you are connecting with something or someone that embodies that energy as well. We love to see this. Okay. I mean, y'all ain't gonna believe this. Card number 2. we got Knight of Cups. Okay, so the Knight of Cups is all about it's like someone that is artistic, romantic, and sensitive. So this is a month of taking action that aligns with your emotional desires and ideals. You may feel more romantic and driven to pursue what makes your heart feel full and inspired. You may be tapping into your creative side more and expressing your emotions through creative projects. There may also be someone coming towards you that is bringing that romantic and dreamy energy. Lord, we hope so. Okay, let's go. And card number 3, you got the Nine of Cups. Okay, so this is all about emotional fulfillment, abundance, and being like self assured. So this month, expect to be feeling really content and really solid about the direction that you're moving in, especially as it relates to your emotions, intuition, and connections. It's very possible that recently you walked away from something or a way of relating that no longer felt aligned. And because of that, because you followed your intuition, you now have a deeper sense of satisfaction and confidence in yourself. Pop off with that. Oh my God. Every time I shuffle the cards, I'm like, please give me the message that people need to hear. And I'm like, make it a good one. I said, make it a good one. And they really did. So I'm very grateful for that. Let me know how those resonate for you. Okay, we got our little mini scopes. So again, check for your rising sign as well as your sun sign to see where the action is going to be happening for you this month. So, Aries, Uranus is going to be moving into your third house. So, this is all about your self expression through communication, short distance travel, your local neighborhood. So, expect some shifts and shakeups there over the next 8 years. You'll also have the Capricorn full moon in your 10th house. So, this is all about career clarity and understanding the legacy that you're now building. And then you're going to have that Mercury retrograde in your 5th house, which is all about reworking some of your passion projects um, and maybe reconnecting with your inner child or children that are in your life, possibly even reconnecting with some old flings, but just stay aware of any performative love. Taurus, you'll have Uranus moving into your 2nd house. So this is like radical money moves, new values, and also just like radical self worth. Capricorn full moon, that's happening in your 9th house. So this is like illuminating where you have some outdated beliefs or long held plans that just don't fit anymore. And then you'll have Mercury retrograde in your 4th house. So you might be redefining what home means to you and having some conversations, with family members and people that you live with. Gemini, you will have Uranus in your 1st house. This is like, okay, we're having a little rebrand moment, okay? You are shifting how you are expressing yourself and your personal goals. You'll have that Cap full moon in your 8th house. This is all about transformation and mental health. You know, it's kind of like karma too. Like you're getting rid of debt, trauma, secrets. Like you're taking care of that. And then Mercury retrograde will be in your 3rd house. This is all about potential miscommunications with your neighbors or siblings or short distance travel. So if you have travel planned through this time, through the end of or middle of August, just give yourself plenty of time. Cancer, Uranus is going to be in your 12th house, so you might have deeper insights, psychic downloads. You're going to be reconnecting with your intuition and your connection with spirituality. You'll have that Capricorn full moon in your 7th house. So, yeah, something about a close one-on-one relationship will be transforming in some way. At this point in time, you are being asked to choose truly aligned partnerships. That Mercury retrograde is going to be in your 2nd house, so revisit the way you think about money and also about your own self-worth, because how we feel about our self-worth does impact our finances. Leo, what you got going on? Leo, you have Uranus in your 11th house, so a lot of shakeups in how you define community, the groups, the people that you associate with, um, and also just your hopes and wishes in general. And then we have the Capricorn full moon in the 6th house. That's like really seeing what systems, routines, health and wellness habits are no longer serving you and your long-term goals. You've got Mercury retrograde in your 1st house. This is all about shifting how you're thinking about yourself and how you're showing up in the world. Virgo, you got Uranus in the 10th. This is talking like your career, what you thought your career was, is going to be different than what it's going to be. Maybe curveballs, sudden upgrades, but you are going to be rebelling against what is expected. We know that. Then you'll have the Cap full moon in your 5th house. So this is releasing an outdated version of your creative self and how you have how you show up in romance too, and like how you have fun. Mercury retrograde in your 12th. Okay. You might have some spirals around ego, fear, or pride, but just turn inward, journal if you need to. Libra, Uranus in your 9th house. Um, New spiritual truth or insights, okay? Your life philosophy might change drastically while Uranus is in your 9th. Capricorn full moon in your 4th, so big home and family chapters closing, maybe restructuring your emotional roots. You have Mercury retrograde in the 11th, so maybe returning to old friend groups or group dynamic shifting in some way. Scorpio, you got Uranus in the 8th. This is sudden intimacy shifts, joint money surprises, and spiritual awakenings. You have Cap full moon in your 3rd, so a conversation, contract, or connection reaches a final turning point. And then Mercury retrograde in your 10th, career identity is being rebranded. Old titles or roles may return for review. Sagittarius, you got Uranus coming up in your 7th house, so expect the unexpected in your relationships, your close one-on-one relationships. This is where you're going to be seeking more freedom. Then you'll have the Cap full moon in your 2nd. So this is letting go of scarcity, deepening into your values and your self-worth. And then Mercury retrograde in your 9th. This is about old beliefs or learning paths resurfacing. Capricorn, we have Uranus in the 6th. This is routine shakeups, unexpected health insights. Cap full moon in your 1st house. This is an identity moment. Like, what version of you are you ready to release? And then Mercury retrograde in your 8th. This is like money entanglements or intimate conversations that need a redo. Aquarius, you have Uranus in your 5th. So this is like creative risks, wild inspiration, unpredictable, but maybe hot romance. Love that for you. Capricorn full moon in your 12th. So shadow work climax. You're going to be seeing how far you've come on your healing journey. And just know that it's okay to look at the shadows to heal them. And then you got Mercury retrograde in your 7th. So relationships on rewind, okay? Like maybe there's some misunderstandings with your closest one-on-one partnerships, but this is a chance to speak from the heart, not from the ego. Last but not least, we got Pisces. Sorry, I'm trying to hurry up because we're almost at an hour. Pisces, you got Uranus in the fourth. So over the next 8 years, sudden home shifts, family surprises, or just wanting to change and gain freedom around your sense of home and your inner world and family. You also have this Cap full moon in your 11th house, so letting go of outdated goals or groups that you no longer vibe with. And you will have Mercury retrograde in your 6th, so revising your health, your wellness, your routines, your daily work. Um, your inner critic may be louder, but don't believe it. Okay, and then we are going to end this episode. If you have made it this far, God bless you. Um, let's talk about how I am here to serve. This is a space to share what's unfolding in the world of bad luck, from offers to events and workshops, so we can find ways that we can expand together this month. So, one, just some news. I wanted to mention that Bad Luck and Magic was featured in Mountain Xpress. So, there was a roundup of Asheville local podcast, and I was very grateful that they asked me to be included. So, you can check that out online. If you go on Mountain Xpress, you can check that out. If you go to my Instagram, you can see it there as well. And yeah, I guess before I even get into all of this, thank you for listening. And if you are enjoying the podcast, the channel, please like, subscribe, share, all of those good things, because it helps the podcast grow and get the messages out to more people. So I really appreciate that. I really appreciate your energy and you guys tuning in. And if you want to connect with me, please go find me over on Instagram at Bad Luck Burden. Everything is in the show notes. You know, all of that. Like the links are all there. So check it out. But a few events for this month. We have the band book club. So we meet virtually every other Tuesday from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And our next meetup will be on July 1st. So we're currently reading chapter 6 of Women Who Run with the Wolves. You don't even have to have the book to join the conversation. Like, we'll talk about, some insights that we gained from the chapter, what we found interesting, but sometimes we just talk about life too. And I love it so much. So we would love to have you there if you're interested. Also, we'll have a monthly Bad Luck Club call. So every month I host an exclusive new moon ceremony virtually for the Bad Luck Club members, which is my monthly membership. You can find more about that in the show notes, but it's a chance to work with the energy of each particular moon cycle and set intentions for what you want to manifest over the next 6 months. Like, I've been doing this for years, and it is so cool to experience a full moon and look back at what intentions I was setting at the new moon 6 months prior, because it always lines up and it helps me stay accountable and it helps me see, the progress that's been made. So I invite you to join that. Yoga, tarot, dance at the Orange Peel. Okay, let's talk about this. So, I will be doing free tarot readings at the Orange Peel here in Asheville on Saturday, July 26th. You can grab a ticket in the show notes. The event is called Vivid Amplified Movement, which is a day party. I think doors open at like 9:30 a.m. and goes until like 1 p.m. But it's a day party. We start with yoga. There's going to be a DJ. There's going to be other vendors. There's going to be like flash tats and stuff. Like, it is going to be super fun and cool. So please check that out if you are going to be in Asheville. And then monthly coffee meetup. So join for Revival, a monthly hangout at a local coffee shop here in Asheville to reflect and reset for the month ahead. So the next one will be Sunday, July 27th from 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. And this will be at Rowan Coffee in West Asheville. So add it to your calendar. It's just a space to connect and have fun and have coffee. Then, last but not least, special offer for the month of July. I am offering a limited number of 30-minute one-on-one cosmic coaching sessions for $30. And this is designed to realign you with your intuition, your goals, and your unique magic for the month ahead. Like, also, I just want to mention too, it includes a tarot pull at the end of the session so that you get your own unique guidance. And I'll also look at your astrology chart beforehand. So any relevant insights that come up during our conversation, we'll be able to work through that. So you can schedule a session in the show notes. And if you have more questions about that, you can always schedule a discovery call. It's obviously free. We just chat for about 10 to 15 minutes and talk about what your needs are. I can explain more of what to expect in these coaching sessions. Um, yeah, and see what's up. Okay, that is all I got, honey. I think that is more than enough, but I wanted to make sure that you really could grasp onto what this month is all about, what you can expect, what you can look forward to, how you can work with the energy. Like this is all cycles. This is cycles of healing, of growth and change for all of us. And when we kind of know what's coming up, we can really tap into and work with the energies. Like that's it's fun. It's like working with magic. So Anywho, I hope you have an amazing month. I would love to show up and do another episode this month, not necessarily astrology related, but more so related on navigating spirals. How do we ascend the spiral? So stay tuned for that. But anyway, thank you so much for being here. I hope you have an amazing July. Take care.